Today we're going to start on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana, so reclined cobbler's pose, which is my favorite way to start. Great way to start warming up gently, opening up the hips so the soles of our feet to touch, letting the knees fall apart, bringing them as close to your groin as you can. If not too much to start with, that's okay. And then just coming to lie down gently on our backs, our arms by our sides, palms facing up. And then bringing our eyes still, slowly closing them. And let's begin now to just let go of anything we had going on earlier today. Connecting to our breath. Just begin to bring the awareness to every inhale and every exhale as it naturally flows throughout your body. And then just begin to notice the quality of the breath without judgment. Maybe you just ran up the stairs to get here. And then let's see if we can start to slow down the breath, taking deep pulls to fill up. And then slowly exhaling out through the nose. Seeing if we can use our breath and the focus on this breath to maybe quiet any chatter in our minds, which can feel like virtually impossible, but just focusing on your breath, or even sometimes counting to 10. Anytime you feel you got pulled away by a thought, that practice can help bring you back. And then just shifting that awareness throughout the rest of your body, taking a scan from the crown of your head all the way to the tips of your toes and your fingertips. Noticing if there's any tightness, any tension you want to breathe into. And allowing the exhales to help you soften. Connecting the flow of each breath. Expanding the ribs as the air flows through. Filling up your belly. And letting it all collapse. Which is essentially the whole practice of yoga, connecting breath to movement, doing so intentionally and with integrity. Let's start now to extend the exhales. So taking an inhale for 2, 1, holding it, and then exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Taking another inhale for 2, 1, filling up. And then emptying out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 2, 1. Exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. And just allowing your breath to return back to its natural rhythm. Just take one deep cleansing breath before we get started. Exhale out all your air. And filling up all the way. Belly, chest, back of the throat, holding it at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Opening the mouth, letting it all go. Now wiggling our hands, wiggling our feet. Bring your knees towards your chest, and with your arms, wrap your hands around your shins and just give yourself a tight squeeze. Begin to rock side to side. Gently starting with our practice today, inviting movement. And coming still, and as you exhale, extend the left leg out in front, hugging that right shin towards your chest, squeezing in. Remembering to work with the exhale to bring that knee a little bit closer towards the right armpit. Choosing to keep the eyes closed or blinking them open. As we lay here on our mats, connecting the breath to the movement. Take a deep inhale to fill up. Exhale, can you bring that knee a little bit closer down? Both feet are flexed. And your next inhale, begin to slowly straighten that right leg towards the ceiling. Bringing your hands to clasp behind your thighs or your shins. Allowing every inhale to lengthen that leg. See if you can work on straightening it. Pressing the top of the right thigh towards the back of the leg. And then remembering to actively press that left heel down onto the mat. And just working with the breath wherever you are. And your next inhale, get long. And as you exhale, begin to open that leg towards the right side. Placing the left hand on the left hip. And keeping that left hip grounded on the mat. Remembering to still work on straightening that right leg, letting it fall to the right, but still bringing it closer towards your midline as you exhale. And on your next inhale, return the leg back to center, and as you exhale, letting it fall all to the left, but keeping the right hip down on the mat. So it's not going to go very far. We're just gently warming up the IT band on the right side of the leg. Taking one more breath here. Staying for the exhale. On your next inhale, letting that leg return back to center and then hugging it back in. See if you notice a difference in the hips as you try to bring it down with the exhale. And then we switch, extending the right leg out in front, bringing the left knee in towards your chest, hugging it in with your hands around your shins. Remembering to flex both feet. With the right foot, pretend you're kicking a wall that's right in front, so the foot is flexed. And then again, using the exhale to bring that left knee as close to the left armpit as you can get it. Still pressing the right thigh, top of the thigh towards the mat. One more breath here. On your next inhale, begin to slowly straighten that left leg towards the ceiling, clasping the hands behind again, thigh or shin. Warming up our hamstrings. If you're able to hook your peace fingers around your big toe, just focus on the stretch on the back of the leg and try to keep those shoulders down. If not, wherever your hands can clasp is good. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, let the leg fall open towards the left side. Remembering to place the right hand on the right hip and keeping that right hip glued on the mat. On the next inhale, bringing that leg back up to center, and then letting it fall towards the right side, keeping the left hip this time down on the mat. Again, not going very far. And on your next inhale, coming back, and this time you need to rock forwards and backwards on your mat. Just gently massaging the spine, your hands behind your thighs. And then before you come up, we're actually going to come and see if you can land in boat pose. So hug your belly in as you roll up. And then your hands behind your thighs. If you have low back pain, you can put them behind your hips. But once you're here, your shins are parallel to the mat. You're hugging your belly in. So if you can let go of your hands parallel to the mat, hugging your shins in, you're hugging your thighs in, pretending there's a block and you're squeezing it, but you're getting long through the spine. So your heart is reaching towards the ceiling. Just hugging in here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, squeezing the legs, 1, and release, coming back up to sit. And then bringing both feet, extending the mat in front. Bend the right knee towards your chest, grabbing the outside of the right foot. We're just going to begin by wagging the leg back and forth. So sitting nice and tall. Just bringing that leg back, opening through the hip. For a few pulls back. And then coming back, bringing the outside of the foot on the inner elbow of the left arm and your knee on the right inner elbow section. Again, sitting nice and tall. You can clasp your hands around your shins in front of the right leg if that's possible. Sitting tall for rock the baby. We're just going to hold here for a couple breaths. See if you can bring that leg higher up so you can almost kiss your shin. But not rounding through the spine. Remember, we have a tall glass of water, the crown of our head. And then slowly inviting the movement from the hip. We're going to just wiggle and rock that baby side to side. Using the inhales to get long, exhales to twist. And then coming still, dropping the right leg out in front. And then bringing the left foot in, grabbing the outside of the foot. It's going to start bringing that leg back, initiating the movement from the hip. Sitting tall, hugging that belly in. Keep bringing that knee back. Exploring the range of movement in the hips. And then bringing the outside of the foot, inner nook elbow of the right. Left knee, left elbow nook. Clasping the hands in front. Take a moment to sit and get tall. Bring that shin up as high as it'll go. One side may be more difficult than the other. And then just singing to see how movement feels with every exhale, rocking to the right side. Still hugging the belly in, activating the muscles of the core. Keep you nice and tall. And then exhale, release. Coming on to all fours. Stacking the hands underneath the elbows, spreading the fingers wide. Bringing all the knuckles and the fingertips onto the mat. With your thumbs, you're drawing the mat apart. And then check that the knees are stacked underneath the hips, a hip distance apart, keeping your toes tucked under. As you exhale, send your tailbone down. Push the floor away, look between your feet. Inhale, drop the belly, tailbone lifts, and your gaze along with it. Going for a few rounds of cat and cow. Work on slowing the movement and the breath. On your next inhale, coming still on our cat-cow movement. As you exhale, step the feet back into plank. From plank, remembering to engage everything. Send the heels stacked on top of the toes, top of the thighs, squeezing towards the back of the legs. Your tailbone is pointing towards your heels. Pushing the floor away, hugging that belly in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you exhale with control, slowly come all the way down to your belly. And once you're there, point the toes, press the tops of the feet so much that the kneecaps lifts. And then make sure that your thumbs are in line with your nipple lines, hugging the elbows in. Inhale, peel your head, neck, and shoulder, coming into a baby cobra. And we're holding here. 2 more breaths. Exhale, release, forehead to the mat. On your next inhale, coming back, going up all the way. Maybe see if you can come up a little higher. Exhale, back down. Tucking the toes, pushing onto the hands, send the hips up and back into our first down dog. And just take a moment here. Check the feet are hip distance apart. And start by walking your dog, bending one knee, bending the opposite. Bringing the heels as close to the mat as you can. Inviting any movement that feels good, or if you just notice tightness, maybe holding. As you stretch the hamstrings on one leg by bending the opposite. Pushing onto the hands. Coming still in our dog, bring our big toes to touch. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, rolling onto the outside of the right leg, coming into a side plank, immediately hugging the outer upper arm on the right, lifting the left arm up towards the ceiling. Both feet are flexed, remaining active. Thighs are squeezing towards each other. See if you can pick up your hips a little bit higher. Maybe you can pick up the foot, float the leg up. Holding here for 5 breaths. When you're ready, wherever you are, rolling back into our downward dog. Take 1 breath here. And as you exhale, roll onto the outside of the left leg, firing that left tricep right away. Right arm reaches towards the ceiling. Maybe you look up. Make sure everything is fired up, and whatever you did on one side, you do on the other. Keep lifting the hips up. Four more breaths here. Awesome, you guys got this. Let's go back to downward facing dog. One breath in down dog. Exhale, open the mouth. Let it go. Checking that the feet are hip distance. Begin to walk your hands back to meet your feet, and let's meet in forward fold. Inviting a slight bend if that feels good. And then work on slowly straightening the legs by pressing the tops of the thighs back, drawing the lower ribs in. Encourage a deeper fold. Focusing on the stretch on the back of the legs through Uttanasana. On your next inhale, bring your hands to your shins. Come up halfway with a flat back. So getting long from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. One straight line. And on your next exhale, bow down. Inhale to rise all the way, mountain, extended mountain. Exhale, bring your hands towards your heart. Coming to the tops of our mat. Check again that the feet are hip distance. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead, reach. Draw the lower ribs in so we're not back bending. Exhale, hands back to your heart. This time, tilting the hip points back. Inhale for a baby back bend. And as you exhale, bow down, fold. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into plank. Holding in plank. And exhale, come up all the way down to your belly, but on the count of 10. Seeing how slow you can lower all the way to the mat. Once you're there, pointing the toes, bring the head, forehead to the mat. Inhale to come up, Cobra. Exhale, bow down. Just then bring your arms by your side, palms facing up. Coming into locust pose. As you inhale, peel your head, neck, shoulder, the arms, and the feet lift with you. And we're holding here, pretending you have weights on your hands. Squeezing the shoulders in. Your tail, pubic bone remains rooted onto the mat. I like Supermaning it. Using your breath. Every inhale, lift a little bit higher. Exhale, keep pressing that pubic bone down. One more breath here. And exhale, release. Forehead to the mat. Bring your arms by your side. Thumbs in line with the nipple line. Tuck the toes. And push onto the hands and the hips up and back into downward facing dog. And down dog. Bend the knees, look towards the hands. Walk or hop to the top of the mat. Coming back to fold. Inhale to come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, bow down. Inhale to rise all the way. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. On your next inhale, step the right foot back, coming into a crescent lunge. Check that the left knee stacked over the left hip. Back leg is fired up. Take a moment here, gain your balance, squeeze the thighs towards each other. And lift the arms up overhead when you're ready, lunging deeper into that left knee. Check that the left knee is on top of the left ankle and it's not tracking outwards, but it's stacked on top center. On your next exhale, drop the back foot so it's parallel to the back of the mat. Arms parallel to the mat as well, coming into warrior two. Back of the thigh is pressing towards the back of the leg. All three corners of the back foot is rooted. And then maybe clasping the hands by your side, behind your back, sorry. Open up your chest. And lunge deeper into that left knee. Inhale here, and as you exhale, bow down for humble warrior. Trying to get the top of your head as close to the mat as you can. Your arms can lift, and they can remain on your back. So keep hugging that left knee in towards the center, and the heels towards each other like they have magnets. Holding here for 2 more breaths. On your next inhale, coming all the way back up. Straightening out that left leg, parallel to the back. Check that the spaces between the second and the third toe are in line with the heel so that the feet are straight. And on your next inhale, lift the arms up overhead, drawing the lower ribs in. As you exhale, coming down slowly on the count of 10. Squeezing that belly in and the legs towards each other. Bringing the hands to the mat. And your head as close to the mat as you can. If your hands are reaching the mat, you can maybe walk them towards the back. Deepening the stretch of the hams. Walking the hands back underneath your shoulders. Put a slight bend in the knee. Bring your hands towards your hips and slowly begin to come up. When you're ready, heel toe your feet back together. Meeting back at the tops of our mat into Tadasana. And on your next inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands towards your heart. Inhale, coming into a back bend. Exhale, bow down, fold. As you inhale, come up halfway. And as you exhale, step back into plank. Inhale here. Exhale all the way down to your belly or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale here. And as you exhale, bend the knees, look towards your hands. Walk our head to the top of our mat. Fold. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to bow. Root the feet, inhale to rise. And as you exhale, step the left foot back into Crescent Lunge. Squeezing the knees, feet towards each other. The thighs, I mean. Inhale to rise and lunge deep into that front leg. Making sure that the back quad is fired up. So keep pressing that towards the back of the leg. One more breath here. And then as you exhale, drop the back foot so it's parallel to the mat. Aligning heel to arch. Coming into warrior two. This time, clasping the hands behind your back the opposite way that you did last time. So it could feel a little bit weird. Squeeze the hands and the shoulders towards each other to open up. And as you exhale, look to the inside of the right leg for humble warrior. That right knee is squeezing in towards the center. We're not letting it fall open to the side. The heels are constantly trying to come together for a nice strong base in the legs. Letting the head and the neck go. Holding it for 2 more breaths. On the next inhale, coming all the way. Straightening out that right leg, parallel towards the back. For wide-legged forward fold. This time maybe clasping the hands behind your back. Opening up the shoulders. And as you exhale slowly with the flat back, bowing down with your head towards the mat. An option to come into a headstand if it's in your practice. It keeps drawing the knees towards each other. Lifting those hands if they're clasped behind your back. If you're in a headstand, begin to slowly come back down. Bring your hands on your hips, micro bend in the knee, slowly coming back up. And then heel toe your way back to center. Coming back to meet at the top of our mats. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale to your heart. Back bend this time as you inhale. And as you exhale, bow down. Inhale to come up, flat back. Exhale, step back into plank. From plank, send the hips up and back into downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift the right leg up. For 3-legged dog, we're just going to hang here for a couple breaths. Keep straightening the left leg. The right leg is fired up, toes are pointing down, and think of the hip points in line with one another. One more breath here. And as you exhale, look towards your hands and bring that right foot in between your hands. Dropping the left knee down, so we're in a low lunge. From here, as you inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands on top of the right thigh and press down. You have the option to keep the back toes tucked under, or you can point them. Maybe trying it out, seeing what feels better for you. Lunging deeper into that right knee. Stay here, maybe lifting the left arm up to deepen the stretch on the front of the left thigh. Looking slightly up or straight in front. One breath here. And as you exhale, bring your hands to frame the right foot. And then walking the hands, begin to slowly straighten the leg. Hands towards your hips. For a half split. And then just think of getting long in your spine so you have a nice flat back. And then as you exhale, bow over that right leg. Keep pushing the heel of the right foot into the mat. Noticing how that intensifies the stretch on the back of the right leg. It doesn't matter how low you get with your torso over that right leg. The integrity is in keeping the spine neutral. Holding here for 2 more breaths. And then when you're ready, slowly putting a bend in that right knee, walking your hands towards the front, framing the foot. And then pick up the left knee, step back into plank. From plank, option to chaturanga, or all the way down to your belly for cobra. As you inhale, or upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Take one breath here. Exhale, open up the mouth. Shake the head, yes. Shake it, no. On your next inhale, float the left leg up. Three-legged dog. Take a moment to check that the hips are in line with one another. The left toes are pointing down. The heel is active like you're kicking a back wall. We need to slowly draw that right heel down to the mat. Hanging here for a couple more breaths. Hug that belly in, drawing the lower ribs towards the hips. Take a deep inhale to fill out. And as you exhale, look towards your hands and begin to step the left foot in between the frame, dropping the back knee. Again, point or flex the toes. Inhale to rise, low lunge. Take a moment here, squeezing the thighs towards each other. And as you exhale, bring your hands on top of the left thigh. Can you go a little bit deeper? Pressing onto that thigh, pushing the torso away. Hug that belly in. Option to stay here, or option to float that right arm up, maybe looking up. If you're staying here, I want you to go as deep as you can. Feeling a deep pull in the right front thigh. And on your next exhale, framing the left foot with your hands. And beginning to walk the legs, the hands towards your hips. Straining that left leg, coming onto the heel of that foot. Pressing that heel down on the mat, like you're trying to dig a hole in the sand, feeling the stretch on the back of the left leg so that it is nice and as straight as you can get it. And when you're ready, getting long through the spine as you inhale, and then maybe as you exhale, you fold over that left leg. Every inhale, get long, and as you exhale, maybe going a little bit deeper. And when you're ready, slowly bending the left knee, hands to frame the left foot, pick up that back leg, and step back into plank. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, choose your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. And down dog, bring your big toes to touch, your knees onto the mat as wide as you can get them. And your sit bones towards your heels, coming into child's pose. Checking into our breath here. Noticing the quality, maybe working on slowing down the heart. And on your next inhale, just coming back up to seated. And then to stand with me at the top of our mats. Gonna play around Coming to Tadasana, feet hip distance. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, shift your weight towards your heels and down, and begin to sit down in your chair. Squeezing the thighs towards each other. Hug that belly in, that tailbone goes down towards the mat. Your arms are holding a beach ball, but it's really heavy. So your arms are fired up. Maybe sitting down a little bit lower. One more breath here. And as you exhale, shift your weight towards your left foot. Picking up that left knee towards your chest. Begin to slowly straighten that left leg. And as you exhale, begin to kick that right leg out towards the back, coming into warrior three. Your hips are squared in line with one another as we did in three-legged dog. Your back heel is fired up, kicking an imaginary wall. Toes are pointing down. Your arms can extend out in front, still holding the beach ball. One more breath here. And as you exhale, can you bring your hands towards the mat, lifting that leg as high up as you would get it, pressing the top of the thigh towards the back for a standing split, and then begin to bring your forehead as close to your shin as you can. Keep lifting the leg from the inner hip. And as you exhale, begin to bring that right foot on the outside of the left foot. So we're coming into IT band stretch, toes in line with one another. So your legs are crossed. The left leg is on top of the right. Take an inhale, come up halfway, hands to your shin. And as you exhale, grounding the big toes of your mat, begin to fold big toes towards the mat. And your next inhale, begin to slowly come up, stacking vertebrae on top. And then uncross the legs. Maybe give them a shake. Coming back to Tadasana pose. Checking that the feet are hip distance. Take an inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Draw the lower ribs in. Your tailbone points towards your heels as you exhale. Shift your weight to the heels and begin to sit down. Chair pose number 2. Remember and pretend you have a block in between your thighs. And you're squeezing in, hugging everything into your energetic center. Can you sit down a little lower on your exhale? One more breath here. And on your exhale, shift your weight towards the right leg. Grounding down, especially in that right big toe mound. Bringing that left knee towards your center. And as you exhale, kicking it back to warrior 3. Straightening the right leg. And again, right away, flexing the back toes, kicking a back wall. Your standing leg is fired up. Think of sending the right kneecap towards the hips. Using your core, hugging that belly in. One more breath here. And as you exhale, bring your hands towards the mat. Then begin to bring your forehead towards your shin. Keep lifting that leg. Toes remain pointed down for standing split on the right side. And on your next exhale, bringing that left leg on the outside of the right leg. You're standing. My T-band stretch. You should be feeling it on the outside of the left leg. Grounding both big toe mounts onto the mat. Inhale to come up halfway, hands to your shin, so flat back. And as you exhale, go down. Good stretch for runners. On your next inhale, come up slowly, stacking vertebrae on top. So that your head is the last thing that comes up. And then shake the legs. Just then bring your feet wide, mat distance apart. Your toes pointing outwards, your heels are pointing in. Take an inhale to get long. Reach with the arms up. And as you exhale, bend the knees, coming down all the way this time to Yogi Squat. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Tricep inside your legs as much as you can, but get long through the spine. Your sternum is away from your pubic bone, and you're hugging in with those legs, trying to squeeze your arms shut, but with your arms resisting. If your heels are not touching the mat, you should be rolling up or grounding down. You can roll up the mat and then just step onto that with your heels. So you have grounding down through all three corners of your foot. Hanging out here, opening up the hips. And with your next breath, we're going to play around with an arm balance, planting our hands down onto the mat. Keep hugging those knees into your triceps and with the tricep resisting. Coming to chaturanga of the arms. So just make sure everything is grounding down. Your fingers are spread. Your thumbs are drawing the mat apart. Take an inhale and lift the pelvic floor. So hug in, pretend you have to pee. And as you exhale, lift the hips. Look right in front. And then maybe pick up one foot. Pick up the other. And if you're in crow, I'm going to hold here. Maybe see how long you can stay up. If you keep coming off, giving it a try, or maybe just pick up one foot, hold. Try picking up the other foot. You're thinking of rounding the low back, the mid back, but your sternum is reaching forward. So you're not completely rounding in like a snail. You're kind of like a turtle, the head sticking out. Keep giving it a try. So hug in. And it's as you exhale, lift the low back, the mid back, but your sternum and your head tucks out like a turtle. You're reaching, looking up. And then as you exhale, release, coming back. This time coming onto your mat. And looking at the long way of our mat, you're going to roll it up so that you get some support for your knees. And then bringing your knees as wide as you can onto the rolled up part of the mat. Bring your feet so that they're in line with the knees. Both feet are flexed. Coming into frog pose, everybody's favorite. Inhale here. Exhale, bring your forearms to the mat. If you can, if you need to stay out, that's okay. But just think of pushing your hips back towards your heels until you feel that sweet little pain nobody likes. We're just going to hang here for a while. And I want you to push your hips back until it's slightly uncomfortable. But your legs should be at 90 degrees. Using this time now to reconnect with the breath. Noticing the internal chatter of your mind and just telling it to come back later. This is your time now. Work on slowing down the exhales. Calming down the mind, allowing the muscles to relax and settle in. Noticing the more chatter in the mind, the more tension, the more pain you feel. So work with your breath to iron out those pain sensors. Challenge yourself to stay when things are hard and work through them. Won't keep you here much longer. All right, so on your next inhale, from your forearms, slowly coming up into our hands. And then start by bringing your heels towards each other. So you try to bring your feet to touch and slowly pushing yourself back to seated. Unrolling the mat. I know it's going to be hard coming out. It might feel like hell. Let's come to sit on our mats. And then bending the knees, bringing the right knee to the front in line in the center and the left knee on top. Flexing both feet, getting long, sitting down in the middle. Both sit bones are grounding down. And lifting the right arm up as you inhale, bending it down. With the left arm, bringing that left elbow towards the center, pressing your head against your forearm so you're nice and long. You may be staying here or maybe bringing the left arm behind your back, clasping or not clasping. Honoring the shoulder opening. And a hip stretch on the back of the left hip right now. Staying here for 3 more breaths. When you're ready, releasing the top arm. Switching sides, so bringing our left knee to the center of the mat. And stacking our right knee on top, as close as you can get it. Making sure that we're sitting tall as you inhale, lifting the left arm. Bringing it towards the center, and with the help of your right hand, bringing the elbows close to the middle as you can. Pressing the head against the forearm. Nice straight line from the crown to your tush. Staying here, or option to bring that right hand behind you. My shoulder just popped. Finding 3 more breaths here in our Gomukhasana cow face pose. When you're ready, releasing the top arm, releasing the legs, bringing the soles of the feet to touch. Close to your groin as you can get them. Clasping onto your feet. I think everybody can here. Getting nice and tall as you inhale. And as you exhale, looking down, beginning to slowly fold over your legs. And then eventually letting the head and the neck go. Pressing the big toe mounds towards each other. As you inhale, coming back up. And then coming to lie down on our mats. For a nice supine twist, bringing the knees towards your chest. Feet are parallel. Bring your arms by your side into cactus, or you can straighten them out if that feels good. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, letting the knees fall towards the right, looking towards the left side. Bringing your eyes to close. You have the option to bring the right hand on top of the outer left thigh. Using the weight of your legs and gravity to help you surrender. No longer doing any work. Shifting the awareness back to our breath. Over and over and over. One more breath here. And as you exhale, squeeze the knees towards each other, bring them towards the center and letting them fall towards the left, gazing towards the right, or keeping your eyes closed. And the option to bring the left hand on the outer right thigh. And just letting the weight of your legs offer a nice gentle twist to your back and your spine. And your next inhale, squeeze the knees towards each other, coming back to center with your head. Letting everything go, straightening the legs out in front, coming into Shavasana. Arms by your side. Letting the feet fall open, wider than mat distance or hip distance. Tucking the shoulders underneath your back, opening up your chest. Your heart reaches, opens. Take a deep inhale through the nose, filling up all the way, taking up space on your mat. Holding it at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the mouth, exhale. Using this time now just to check in again with your body. Doing a quick scan from the top of your head, noticing any tension. Breathing in and softening as you move down all the way, shoulders, back, hips, your thighs, your shins, your feet. Noticing if any spaces in your face need softening. Your brow, your jaw. Inviting gentle movement back now. Wiggling your hands, wiggling your toes. Rocking your head slowly from one side to the other. Using your next inhale to get long reach with the hands up overhead. And reach with your toes, pointing them forward. On your next exhale, bring your knees towards your chest, hugging in and then rolling over to the right side, making a pillow with your forearm. And your next inhale with the help of your hands, coming to sit. Any comfortable seated posture. Grounding down your sit bones, long through the spine. Your eyes remain closed to half closed. As you inhale, lift the arms up, reach overhead. As you exhale, bring your hands to touch into your heart center. Taking a moment to thank yourself for coming out today and dedicating this hour to your body. And thank you for joining me this Wednesday. Together we bow and say namaste.